I will be painting some Cadians for the next hour. And they're going to be passing for renegades sometimes for loyalists. And this is their main dude right here, so
let's get started.
okay. Bang. Going to use one of the cheapest brushes I could find. Bought a lot of these, so they're totally replaceable, but I like them. They're nice. Of course, a better brush would be sweet too, but hey, this will do. So I got a couple of Cadians right here, and this will be my main guy. But anytime I feel I need the paint dry, or I put a little bit too much paint on my palette, then I will use the excess paint on these guys, or I'll paint a few things on them while I wait and leave this to dry for a bit. So that's what I'm planning to do. Hope you'll enjoy. Okay, got the brush all wet. Time to take out my palette. I have a wonderful wet palette here. I'm not going to put it on camera because that might distract from what I'm doing here. But you can see a lot of paints I put on earlier this week are still nice and moist, still nice and wet, still usable. So using a wet palette saves you money. It's that simple. Just some damp cloth, a little bit of baking paper on top of it, and then shut it airtight with a lid on it. And that's about it. That's all you need to do. So, okay, let's get to it. If you look closely, these guys have a different kind of orange than these guys, because these were dry brushed with a very flat orange, yellowy orange, after they were dipped and sprayed. And these guys only have been sprayed and dipped, so they still need to get a dry brush. You might even call it an overbrush. Also goes for this man. Also, just all the orange you see is straight from the spray can. All the black you see is from the dip. Now, why have I dipped it before I started painting it, instead of after blocking in all the colors then dipping it? If this was very monochrome, it would be hard to see anything on camera. B, my eyesight is not that nice and I want to see what I'm painting, so having the dip really shows me what separate spaces there are, where the lines are, where the details are. So this really helps me. If you can't see that well, then I suggest dipping after base coating too. Okay, let's do a bit of overbrushing. Not too much. I still want to be able to see the detail. For the overbrushing, I'm using Hobby Luck. It's 45 mil. Let's say it's close to €3. Might be 3.5, might be 2.80 or something. I don't know. It's very cheap. You can get it at Pipo's in Holland, or order it from their site. It's from a company called Panduro from Sweden. Panduro Hobby might sell it too. I don't know. But I get it from a Dutch local store. This is a very nice orange. It doesn't really cover, so I don't like using it on its own, but on top of an orange, it's perfect. I really feel that it has this like a resemblance to the prison fatigues you often see in movies. Doing a quick overbrush, dry brush thing, where I'm just trying to catch all the edges which are upright, trying to leave most of the shade on there. It takes away the gloss from the orange spray paint, so that's cool. And it makes the color look sexier in my opinion. Might also look sexier to me because this is the closest you can get to the Pornhub orange, right? People know what I'm talking about. They might pretend they don't know, but they do. Don't believe people that say they don't know what I just said right there. They're lying. Okay. See, you can still see the details, but it's less glossy. And the orange is flatter. Okay, so that's it for the hobby lock. If you want to buy something, go to pipos.nl or pandurohobby.com. Sort yourself out. Really nice. But I would not suggest painting an entire model with it, because then you need way too many layers. I'm going to clean this brush off because I don't want it to harden in there. And then on to the next step. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to take some Citadel paint right now. It's going to be the Troll Slayer Orange. And I'm going to use the Troll Slayer Orange to create some variation in color on the fatigue parts of the clothes. I'm going to put down a little bit of sticky tack. What is it? Poster tack. I'm going to put this down here so I don't knock it over. I'm going to put some medium on my wet palette. Created some medium myself. I'm going to put it on a wet palette, and every time after I dip into the pot, I'm going to briefly stick the brush into the medium, wet it down a little, and then get it on the model. So not really painting from the pot, just a little. Going to go for the trousers here. I'm going to go with the edges of the raised parts and the entirety of the lower parts and the creases. Not getting rid of all the shade, but basically just creating a backdrop for the lighter tints that I will put on there. Because I want them to set off against something. I really want them to pop those highlights, so putting a darker edge around it really does them justice. That way you'll really see it if I highlight something with a pale flesh tone or medium flesh tone or sunny skin tone. Those are really nice colors to highlight orange with. So basically I would get one of those darker skin tones from Vallejo here. Then I'd go to a paler orangey kind of skin tone, which we could say is salmon rojo salmon, salmon rose. And then I would end up with this here, light flesh for the ultimate highlight. I like these three to highlight oranges. So then I got two different kinds of real oranges on there and three faux oranges. So after I take some paint, take some medium from my palette, then I bring back the brush, and that's what's going on onto the miniature. Okay, I'm going to leave this for a bit. Just taking this guy because he's closest by, not because he's the first in line or anything. Cool. Just put a little bit too much there on the brush. Getting into the ferrule, I don't want that. So I'm going to take a second to clean the brush. I don't want any of the paint going in there. Ooh, I got some black on the brush somehow. Probably misdipped in my wet palette. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Hey, Saitama. Everything gezellig? Lijp shit, man. Yeah. I'm putting our national colors on this man. They're going to be thing is that my narrative for these guys is my backstory is that they had to escape Cadia really fast when the planet was breaking up. Not retreating, but just saving their damn lives so they could fight another day. But there were no more Imperial ships in their sector. So basically all these guardsmen and guardswomen from different from different regiments, they all got together and they hijacked the prison ship. Well, hijacked, all the prisoners were long gone. They just commandeered it. They went on board, saved a couple of thousand people, maybe 12,000 people maximum. They got on board and everybody was dressed differently. Everybody had their own guards fatigues. There were people in black, there were people in gray, anthracite, blue, you name it. Cadian 12th, Cadian 8, there were Praetorians, everybody had a different outfit. And it was getting so chaotic on board that they just decided to put on the jumpers of the inmates because they went to the laundry section and there they found 30,000 orange jumpsuits. And they said, hey, our raggedy ass clothes are stinking to high heaven. We haven't washed in months. We're just fighting, trying to survive. And now we got a little bit of peace of mind here on our ship. So we can put some effort into showering, putting on these new fatigues, and just becoming a new unit. So they're traveling across the galaxy, just pillaging. Sometimes they'll fight for the glory of humanity, but most of them have lost faith in the Empire. So they're just, the only thing that they know is that they want all of the nice things a human can get in life. So they're looking for food, looking for valuables, looking for new recruits, forcing other humans to join them on their ship, and they are traveling until they can find an habitable planet with a population that they can easily dominate without expending too many of their numbers, or without sacrificing too many of their numbers, where they can try and expand. So until the day comes that they can do. Oh, I need to fix this, man. Uh-oh, it's still crooked. I need to put something over his wrist. You're going into the see you later bin. So until they can get back to real force and start Acadia too. Okay, so Saitama says, I bought some Tau recently. Still got to put them together. You know where I can actually play or watch 40k in our country? Watching 40k is just a YouTube thing, man. Playing, that can be done everywhere. Every city, whether it's Utrecht or Amsterdam or Den Haag or Leiden, they got these game clubs. So if you want to get into playing, I would suggest joining up with something called Warhammer Nederland on Facebook. It's like a Facebook group, and then you just post like, hey, I'm near Groningen, or I'm in Friesland, or I'm in Drenthe, or I'm in Zeeland. Are there any people near me that want to play a game? Maybe. Are there any clubs? And then people will pop out of the woodworks and they will tell you all about all of their Sunday gatherings or their Wednesday evening gatherings. So it's really like, I think you can have a game in about 20 minutes if you really want to. You don't have to live in Rotterdam or Amsterdam to get some action. There are clubs everywhere. I heard of a club in Tiel, which is really nice. People invited me there. I think I'm going to go in September maybe. I heard of a club in I forgot where was it. In Roosendaal. So that's not a big city. So like people are playing all over the place. You just need to know who to hook up with. And Warhammer Nederland is a nice starting point for that. If you're near Amsterdam, there's this thing called Amsterdam Battle Brothers. That should be nice. It's like a real gaming club. They get together every week. Never been there. Heard about it. People tell me it's cool, so that's something. And then there's, of course, there are these game stores, games workshops, or Warhammer stores they're called. And if you have an army that is fully Citadel, like 100% Citadel, you can bring your armies there and you can play. If you make an appointment with the store manager, you can say, hey, I would love to play on Tuesday, and they'll say, okay, that's cool, or okay, that's $5, euro, or whatever. They'll give you the conditions, and then you can go there, and then they'll either have an opponent for you, or you can bring a friend and play together. And then there are also gaming stores, local gaming stores, of course. Like not every city is going to have one, but I think there will always be one within an hour from anywhere you are in Holland. Just takes a little bit of effort. Do they accept very customized? As far as I know, they accept all conversions you did by sculpting yourself 100% of the time, as long as it looks like what you say it should be. It has the right weapons on it. It's called WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. But they might not accept third-party heads, third-party weapons, third-party, I don't know, bits. I don't know. So if you have Tau, but you all bought all of your commanders on Wargames exclusive instead of on one of those Games Workshop sites, they might say, okay, well, we appreciate that you came all the way over here, and we're going to let you play once, but next time don't bring these guys, because our table should be a demo of the toys we have. That's their thing, right? They're trying to sell these toys. You playing there, it's like it's a commercial to them. You're like advocating the game. So if you run up in there with all these third-party toys, people start asking where you got those beautiful female heads or something, and you say, oh, I got those from Statuesque Miniatures, and they're not making money. But if you said, yeah, wow, where did that miniature get all these tentacles? You say, yeah, I sculpted them out of green stuff. And these guys behind the register can say, yeah, okay, if you want some green stuff to make some tentacles yourself, here, get this stuff. So it's business first, hobby store second. They only let you play the game because it advertises what they sell. So, have you put all your Tau together, Saitama? How do I pronounce your name? Is it like Saitama or Saitama or Sitma or Saitama? I don't know. I'm going to say Saitama because that's the way I read it. Saitama. Okay, he says Saitama. I should say Saitama. Okay, cool. Dope. I don't need this anymore. Cool. I'm going to do some highlighting on the standard bearer. Saitama says he's taking away the mold lines of all his models. He hasn't put any together yet. But he's feeling inspired to do a lot of conversions. Yeah. Inspiration is half the work. If you can see it, you can build it. I'm going to use a Vallejo model color sunny skin tone to do the first round of highlights. And I see a lot of people calling this Vallejo, Vallejo, Vallejo. The V is a B in Spanish. This is a J in Spanish, double L. And this is a G in Spanish. So you can read this as Vallejo. Vallejo. So, just so you don't look like an idiot when you're in Spain, you say, oh, I got cool Spanish paints. Yeah, I'm from Holland, but I use Spanish paints. What kind of paints do you use? The Spanish people will say. And then you say Vallejo. And they will not understand what you're saying. They won't be able to point you to a shop where you can buy more at the low Spanish prices. And once you write it down, they'll probably laugh at you because it says Vallejo and not Vallejo. So if you're ever in Spain,
Vallejo.
So what I'm doing, I put some sunny skin tone on my wet palette. Got a couple of drops of medium in there. Then I first dip into the paint, then I dip into the medium. And then I put it on my miniature. Trying to do very subtle. And at this point it's okay if you see a bit of the brush strokes, because I'm going to dip this when I'm done highlighting and blocking out all the colors. And when I dip it, it all ties together. I'm going to dip it in a blackish blue, bluish black, because I feel, because orange is on the other side of the color wheel of blue, that they will look nice together. And I like the black because it's really shading, adds to the shade. If it was just blue, it would be a guy with blue stains on his orange suit. But if you put in a black, then it's just a shade with a blue hue to it. Okay, Sitama, what kind of sept are you doing your Tau in? What color scheme? What will they be like? Sitama says, well, I don't even know much about that yet. Does it have to be a set? No, it doesn't. It can be whatever you want. You paid for the models. At least I assume you paid for the models. If you stole them, then that's really a dick move. But if you paid for the models, it's nobody can tell you how to paint them. But if you are going for a certain kind of set, then you have a lot of examples of what to do with them. So that could be cheaper paint-wise if you know what colors to get on forehand. He says the cachet wasn't looking. Okay, yeah. And it's still a dick move. But it's probably a joke, so let's assume it's a joke. If those models are yours, you are the only person that can decide what color they'll get, and anything goes. As long as you think it looks nice. And that's the only thing that matters. But if you make them a sept, it could be cheaper, because they'll tell you need this and this and this color, this shade. So then you can make do with like 6 bottles of paints without having to buy an entire set, finding out what colors you like and what colors work together, what look horrible together. So from that perspective, going for a set can be cheaper. But there's no need to at all. You can also just go to Pinterest, type in Tau, and then look at all the beautiful different color schemes there are for Tau. And then try and figure out what colors those people have used, and then just buy that. Yeah, cool. Metallic is nice. That means you can use a lot of markers. That saves a lot of time. Like for every metallic color, there are a lot of nice markers out there. whether it's purple or pink or green or blue. There are so many metallic markers. You can do edge highlighting in a couple of seconds. You can do weapons in a couple of seconds. Metallics are really cool. If you love painting fast, then metallics are the way. Lots of these cool acrylic markers. Like if you get an orange one, they're just too glossy or they fade when you touch them. They're not any good. But the metallic ones, they are different. They just, bam, you smack them on and they cover. And they stay on once they dry. Saitama says, I thought of paint. Yeah, well, I don't know. You shouldn't use markers because I said you should use markers. I'm just saying that if you want that option, it's available. Just use them in combination with paint. I think it saves a lot of time. And it gets... it's easier to draw a steady line with a marker than it is to draw with a paintbrush. So if you're doing edge highlighting and you can use a marker, that saves a lot of time. But if you're not into time, like optimizing the time you spend on there, then by all means just paint everything. Just do it the way you like. I just like markers for guns, and I like markers for edge highlights and mobile suits and tanks and also with the hand. Okay, so I bought a lot of second-hand miniatures. I tried to fix them, but apparently I overlooked a couple of miniatures where the hand wasn't lining up with the arm. So I need to fix this one. This is going to go into the away pile. Not the chuck pile, but I need to fix that pile. It's really shitty. Let me check the rest. Oh, et tu, brute, et tu. Okay. Thanks, Saitama. Yeah. So this here is Procreate, and this is Procreate. I did some videos on how to do this, so if you scroll through my videos, you're bound to see a video on how to make veils, cloaks, and tubes. Oh, okay, cool. Saitama already saw the video, he says. Yeah, it's not high level advanced sculpting, it's just pulling around some Procreate. Okay, so I should probably do black and... yeah, I'll do black first. So I got myself a little Chaos Black from back when I was 17, almost 18 years ago. And I reactivated it, but I used a lot of medium in there. So I don't need to thin it. I can just paint from the pot because it's already super thin. Yeah, I love Army Painter. Got a couple of these. They're nice. They're a little thick, a little globby, but if you water them down properly, then they're beautiful to work with. I just try a lot of paints, see what works best. Some colors are nicer than others in some ranges. I like the Vallejo because they're affordable. They have the same kind of nice dropper bottles as a Army Painter would have, or war paints. But I also like the Citadel paints. Yeah, so Sitama says, yeah, Vallejo is nice too. So I'm blocking in these things that I'm going to make metallic later, or things that need to be black right now, or things that I think that could benefit with a black base coat rather than an orange one. Just giving them a good coat. So Saitama wants to create a metallic Tau army. That's nice. Have you thought of what color metallic you'll do them? Sorry, Saitama. I said Saitama again. He's going to make them silverish. Okay. What I would do, but I'm not expert, but what I would do is I would spray paint them black with just a nice matte black spray from the Action or another hobby store, or maybe the Praxis. Just get one of those affordable spray cans. Just make sure that it's a black flat paint. Maybe even a matte car primer. Although black paints aren't usually called primer. They'll be called matte car lacquer, or just matte black paint. But Action sells very cheap, good acrylic matte paint in a spray can. That's those beautiful. It's like less than €3 for a spray can, and you can do probably 500 miniatures with those. Saves you a lot of money. I'd advise the Action any day over anything else, even over the official Army Painter and official Games Workshop spray cans. Action is a homie, yeah. Action is a homie for life. I hope I never hear on the news. Today Action went bankrupt. They filed for bankruptcy. So that will be a very bad day for me. I'll cry. I'll literally cry. I'll get so many supplies there. Like, it's the gamer's best friend. Okay, I'd get a black from them, and I'd get a silver from them if I was you. And maybe you get like a metallic anthracite. Then I'd spray paint it all black. Called black bombing. Afterwards I would spray it all silver. Then I would mist it with the anthracite, and then I would mist it with the silver again. Then you got yourself some basic silver troops. And then you can just dip them really fast. I don't know if you guys know Luke's APS. That's a beautiful channel here on YouTube too. And he has this video on how to make dip shades. So he just uses something called stain, which is best translated as bijts in Dutch. Then he gets transparent acrylic bijts, like a stain. Then he waters that down with some ingredients, I don't know, you have to watch the video. And then if you water it down enough until it becomes inky instead of varnishy, I don't know how to explain what I want to say, but once it becomes less thick but still gives off color, then you can use it to dip your miniatures. And dipping is very cool. You can just put something in there and dip it, and when it comes out it looks like a professional painter did it. Just check out Luke's APS channel and then search for the video called dip shading or dip shades. Army Painter also sells complete cans of dip shade, but I think that is a little bit expensive for something you can make, because an entire metal can of stain is probably only €7, €8. If you get one of the medium pots or smaller pots, and then you can make almost a liter of dip out of that. So Luke shows you how cheap it is. Actually, just watch the video and it'll tell you exactly how much you can save as compared to the Army Painter dip. But I like it. I made a whole batch of black and blue, or bluish black, blackish blue, I don't know. And I've literally dipped 200 guys, and I'm only halfway through the first 400 milliliter dip I made, so that's cool. I got a lot of stain left in the can I haven't touched yet, so I could even make like 400 milliliters more or 500 milliliters more easily, and dip another 200, 300 Cadians, no problem. So that's cheap, especially if you like only spent €9 on it, and then you can do 400 guys with it. That's
Madness.
You often get views on streams. No, I've only started it this week. So if I get anywhere between 2 and 5 people in here every time I stream something. I'm not like a pro that's well known. I'm just a guy mumbling into a cam. Very boring to some. Maybe, I don't know. But thank you for being here. It's very gezellig. Appreciate it. What I don't like about stream is what I don't like about stream is that the quality of the video is so poor. I'm using a very good camera, but my internet is just not. Like I'm doing it over Wi-Fi, so you can hardly see any of the detail. Like, but after all of these guys are done, I'll do a cool video in 4K. Not streaming, but just doing it in 4K. And then you can see what I've done on these streams. Okay. Should there be any more black on this guy? Yeah, I got a grenade right here. Okay. So, Saitama, tell me, what kind of Tau models did you buy? I also bought loads of Tau over the last year. Like, so much Tau. And I gave it all to a friend. Because he was graduating from his university. And he worked really, really, really hard. What are FW and PF? Is FW Forge World or is FW Fire Warriors? Or is it oh, okay, Fire Warriors and Pathfinders, okay. Cool. Saitama says he bought Fire Warriors. Saitama. Sorry. He said he bought Fire Warriors and Pathfinders. So you got 2 boxes, or you got like all your troops sorted right away? Okay, cool. So Saitama bought 2 boxes. Hey, Underdog Painting. Welcome. Dude, Underdog, I checked out your Instagram and you are such a talented painter. It really strikes deep into my soul. I'll never be able to reach that level. So fucking gifted. Dope. Love all the pictures on your Instagram. And those Primaris look absolutely sick. Okay, so Underdog Painting, who has a lot of beautiful pictures on his Instagram, says, I will one day reach that level because in his friend groups he's the one that is most rubbish, but I find it hard to believe. Either you're chilling with Kenny Boucher or Duncan or the Nerd Princess or something, or you are totally lying. One of his friends paints at Golden Demon level, he says. Okay, yeah, that's cool. I paint at Golden Shit Nugget level. Not even. I'm probably painting at aluminum shit nugget level. But I try. I dabble. Yeah, shit levels are the best. Okay. I'm going to paint for 10 more minutes and then I'm off to bed. I had a long day. It was my wife's birthday today and I've been catering and flying around the house all day trying to get everybody snacks and food and drinks, and it's been super hectic. Thanks you, Sitama. He says congratulations. Sitama says I'm painting at a starter's level. Yeah, cool. Yeah, me too. I'm also painting at a starter's level. I did 750 to 1,000 models last year, and it's so hard for me to level up. If I got 7 models I'm happy with, then that's a lot. Underdog Painting says he's been working all day since 12 o'clock and he just finished. That means he either worked 2 minutes or 12 hours because it's 2 past 12. I would be super knackered too if I had to work 2 whole minutes. Underdog Painting says, I paint so quick I need to slow down. I'm looking for a nice single model to paint and put all my skill into. Yes. Yeah. Dope. Can't wait to see you do that. I think I paint too fast too, and it's really impeding me in my growth. I'm doing, I don't know, 100 models a month, just because I want to get an army on the table I can play, and I'm playing mainly Imperium, and my non-Imperium army is Death Guard, so I don't know, foot sloggers and everything. And even with the Space Marines, I paint them in batches of 20 at a time. Like, I need to pace myself, take some time with it, let it breathe. Okay, I'll do the face and then I'll go to bed. Sitama says 12. No, that's Underdog Painting. Underdog Painting says he's worked for 12 hours. Oh, that's hardcore. Sitama Workshop says, how small may an army be? Well, if you play open play, anything goes. You just have to agree with your opponent on what the power level you're going to use, and if it's uneven, like he wants to use 100 power and you only want to use 25 power, then you can get the open war cards, and then you can get all these cool things like that help you respawn units when they die because you were lower in power level, or that gives you plot twists, stuff like that. But if you do matched play, then you have to look at all those. They were used to call formations, and now I think they're called detachments or something. You need to look at those. If you get the main rulebook for 8th edition, you can look at these diagrams, and then you can see how much you need. But like what Underdog Painting says, 2 squads and an HQ. Yeah, that could be great. You can find somebody to play against who also has that or is willing to field that. Okay, Underdog Painting is disclosing some personal information about his hygiene. And he made a nice a nice remark about his personal life. So sleep well, have fun, see you next time. And I'm going to do the face, and then I'm off to bed too. And with doing the face, I mean I'm just going to put on the base coat of Vallejo light skin tone, light flesh. Yeah. So I imagine Sitama to be like a Frisian or West Frisian name. Bye, Underdog. Have fun. Okay, cool. And to the best of my knowledge, both Friesland and West Friesland are in the same time zone as where I'm in. So it's probably past midnight for Sitama too. Going to put a very thin layer of... I got too much on my brush. Very thin layer of the light flesh tone. Light flesh. On his face. Oh, you're in Zeeland. Okay, nice. Cool. Beautiful. All the water. Oh, dope. So you like have a Frisian name, but you are from the south. Are you on like mainland Zeeland, or are you on one of the peninsulas or islands? The bottom one. Okay. Cool. So like mainland but attached to Belgium. Are you in Walcheren? Oh, that's beautiful. Wonderful beaches. Yeah, I love Walcheren, man. Beautiful. Like sea on 3 sides, right? I live in Amsterdam. Like a swamp. Swamp city. We're in a city or one of the smaller villages like Kruiningiersk of what are they called? Like Krabdijk. Stuff like that. Ah. Flushings. Like the last stop is Flushings, right? End of the line. Sitema says he's on the last stop of the train in Walcheren, so that has to be Flushings. But then you live right by the coast, right? Like the station is near the sea. Never been near the station much, or? What? How can you not go to the beach? It's super nice beach. Lots of nice restaurants, cool festivals, lots of water, cinemas. You really live in the developed part of Flushing. Got so much resources around you. The Tether is awesome. Theater. Oh, the bioscoop. The Cine City it used to be called. That's a nice bioscope. So I decided to do this man's hair though. Hair needs to be done. I'm going to give him a black, no, not black brown, leather brown. No, black brown. I'm going to do Vallejo black brown. Allemagne Camo Pardo Negro. German camouflage black brown. Saitama says he doesn't like the scent. I think the scent insulted him once, and now he got some beef with the beach. He looks like a wildling from Game of Thrones a bit. Yeah. Yeah. Like that leader guy. Right? He has that those wild manes. Like the ginger boss guy. But now he's not going to be ginger anymore. So, if you don't mind me asking, Sitama, what age category are you? Like, are you in 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s? I'm 35. Ah, okay, cool. So I don't know if it still existed, but when I was in my 20s, I went to a place called the Hooizolder, like the hay attic, the hay loft. Is that still there? Sitama says he's in his mid-20s. Okay. He doesn't go out that often, so he doesn't know if the hayloft is still there. What was this? Like, they had a bus that picked you up in the center of Flushings, and then it drove you to that nightclubish kind of disco. But the bus was like, they had a German bus, but they had tram seats from Amsterdam installed in them. It was really uncomfortable. It was always packed to the brim. And then the driver, he was just like from another dimension. He just went straight over roundabouts. He just didn't give a fuck. The man flew. He got you into like salt lands in 10 minutes. Yeah, I spent a couple of years there. Not didn't live there or anything. Just went there a lot. Had a couple of friends there. That was like in I don't know, somewhere between 2000 and 2006 or something. I don't know. Many years ago. I put on too much paint. Bah. I am 35. Sietema asked me my age, what my age was. So there was this really cool Dutch rap act from Flushings. They were called 018 and they had this mixtape called Flessenpost. I really liked it. I got it there, but I had one of my I don't know. I think somebody's mom's boyfriend. They went out of their way to collect that mixtape for me. I was really happy when I got it. Still have it somewhere. Okay, cool. Sietema says he likes rock better. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, there's some hair on top of his face too. Bah. This is going to be very hard. I'm not sure if he has a mustache. I can't actually see if he has a mustache. I'm assuming he has a mustache, but I'm not sure. I'm just going to paint on a mustache. No, that looks shit. That looks super fake. I have to come in and fix that tomorrow. It doesn't look right. Yeah, thank you for joining me, Sietema. Nice talking to you. See you next time. It was very gezellig, je weet zelf.
Rah.
West Side. I'm going to stop the stream right now because I'm tired. I want to go to bed. And there's always tomorrow, as long as no meteors hit Earth or no solar flares either. Beautiful planet. Enjoy your evening.
West Side.